Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear from my new studio. Thank you for bearing with me for the last few days. Well, things have been a little chaotic and frankly a little yellow in terms of color tone, but I'm in a brand new space now, and we're gonna continue on as if nothing happened. We're gonna keep going with Locrine, and we're gonna get to hear from Albanact today in Act 2, Scene 6. So at the beginning of this scene, we had Humber getting a little bit afraid that maybe Albanact was stronger than he originally thought, but that they start the whole battle thing, and Hubba kills Deben, and Strumbo comes in and just sort of falls down, and Albanact goes out and then comes back and he's injured. And he gave us this very long monologue yesterday where he's sort of going through the stages of grief, dealing with this injury that he has sustained, and saying, you know, like, why did I have to get injured, and how can fortune strike me down, and I want to seek out fortune's wheel and destroy it so that this can't happen to anybody else. But by the end of it, he's sort of given up and given in and accepted the fact that he's likely going to die because of this wound. But Thrasymachus is like, come on, you know, you got to run away. You got to run away. We got to get you to safety. And Albanact says, nay, let them fly that fear to die the death, that tremble at the name of fatal Moors. Ne'er shall proud Humber boast or brag himself that he hath put young Albanact to flight. And lest he should triumph at my decay, this sword shall reave his master of his life, that oft hath saved his master's doubtful life. But, O my brethren, if you care for me, revenge my death upon his traitorous head. Et vos quieres dominus est nigrantis regia ditis, qui regitis regidos stigios moderem in lucos, nox collegiti regina poli furialis erinis, dice dileci omnes albanum totale regium, totale flumines undis rigidaque palude nunc mi fata vocant, hoc candam pectore ferrum. And then the stage directions say he runs himself through with the sword. So he says all this stuff in Latin and then kills himself on the battlefield. Now, I understand that, you know, this is before England was a thing. So modern medicine basically amounted to, here, maybe eat this herb or put this pile of dirt on a wound and it might get better, sort of thing. So he, depending on the severity of the wound, his chances might have not been that great anyway. But what he's saying in this monologue, and then with the fact that he kills himself right after it, is that he would rather kill himself than give Humber the satisfaction of knowing that he made Albanact run away. So he doesn't actually want to be killed by Humber, and he doesn't want Humber to think that he ran away because he was afraid of Humber. He would rather commit suicide there on the field. So he does that, and he asks the people that are around him to make sure that they win, that they get revenge on him, that they get revenge on Humber. And the bit that's in Latin, if anybody out there actually speaks Latin, I apologize for my terrible pronunciations, but the bit in Latin, when put through Google Translate, means, and you whose house is the royal riches of blackness, you who rule the forests with rigid control of the stags, in the night I blinded the queen of the furious pole of Erin, and all the gods and goddesses remove Alban the king. Take away the waves of the rivers and the stiff marshes. Now the fates are calling me. I will store this iron chest. So it's an invocation of the fates, of nature, of the gods and goddesses, that he is going to now kill himself. So he ends his life, he runs himself through, and then Trompart comes in and sees Strumbo like lying on the ground and is like, oh my gosh, what happened? And he's bleeding, and here's my master, here's Strumbo, what's going on here? And Strumbo's like, shh, I'm trying to make people think that I'm dead. I'm just, shh, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. And then we are actually going to hear a song that I'm not going to sing. I'm just going to give you lyrics of it. We're going to hear a song from Trompart tomorrow in response to finding his master potentially dead on the battlefield. We will hear that in tomorrow's monologue. So I will see you then. Mwah.